Find the joy. Cherish hope. Breathe. Take a moment. Take a few. And someday soon you'll once again be able to stay in wonder at this magnificent view. The world's a crazy place right now, but don't worry, we'll still be here. We'll see you again soon.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUL for life. We are IUL.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciero. In the news tonight, final phase of the $1 billion Namibia airport dual carriageway begins. Long-distance bus operators still unhappy despite public transport tariff increase. Procurement Act compliance by public entities remains low, says IPPR. Unemployed graduate ventures into farming. And Roundup Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. Namibians and visitors alike will soon make use of an alternative, quicker way to travel between Windhoek and the Hosea Kutako International Airport as the final phase of the $1 billion Namibia project has started. A total of about 270 to 300 Namibians are expected to be recruited.
Managing the project, the Roads Authority notes that, once completed, the freeway, which was financed through a grant from the People's Republic of China, will support the economy by allowing alternative quicker movement to and from the capital city, and 120 million Namibia dollars will be spent on contractors, with 270 to 300 employees expected to be recruited.
The scope of the works of Phase 2B includes the construction of about 21 kilometers of the freeway, 3 interchanges, and 2 river bridges and drainage structures. The Hosea Kutako freeway is part of the Harambee Prosperity Plan, Phase 2, and this project is aligned to the NDP 5 project implementation. And I'm happy that our government, through the Roads Authority, once again is committed to expand the national road network and to ensure that we connect all our neighboring countries through our corridors, linking from the Walsh Bay corridor, from the gateway of the Walsh Bay Harbour, linking the Trans-Kalahari corridor, linking the Trans-Zambezi corridor, linking the Trans-Kunene corridor, and the Trans-Orange corridor.
Contractor chosen for the 3-year project, Zone May Engineering Group, was amongst Namibian registered Chinese companies shortlisted.
Zone May Engineering Group Limited is an international civil engineering and construction company registered in Namibia with specialization in road and bridge construction, water infrastructure, and building services. Zone May is committed to providing the best possible construction expertise, techniques, and services to ensure on-time delivery, quality, and a successful project. Furthermore, this project will be an opportunity to employ locals, both unskilled and skilled, provide training and skill transfer, and engage local contractors and suppliers for goods and services. We therefore are excited and looking forward to working with the project teams, named the Road Authority Management Team from CBME.
The Roads Authority also completed construction of the 9-kilometer interchange freeway, which forms part of the Windhoek-Hosea-Kutako International Airport road upgrade to a dual carriageway.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia Sounds with a Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Public transport tariffs have increased with 9.2%, but long-distance bus operators are unimpressed. They say as long as 7-seaters continue operating unregulated, the increase won't make a difference as they still struggle to get passengers.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Securing enough passengers remains a challenge for long-distance operators, and this, according to them, is due to competition from 7-seater operators.
Okuzaige ko 7-seater ke private car no ke tarak. Sembaye ana besam batune permita do kuferefura katuna moshu wana wawashi.
They say authorities should have dealt with the illegal public transport operators before approving an increase in taxi fares.
For this increasing of the payment of the public transport, it will not can work because we have already had communication with the 7-seaters. First, number one, 7-seaters. The government, they do nothing on that things. They drive without a permit. So there is a competition between the buses and the 7-seaters. So we stay our price the same. We don't increase our price. We just hold our price the same.
Some of these buses, according to NPPTA, make a minimum of 2 trips per day to closer towns like Walvis Bay and Swakopmund.
If you look at buses operating from here to Swakopmund, you might get 1 or 2 buses that are leaving the premises per day, where previously we used to have 5 to 10 buses leaving just to Walvis Bay or Swakopmund, and even to the south. It has been very detrimental to our industry.
The Road Transportation Board of Namibia, under the Ministry of Works and Transport, approved the tariff increase to compensate for the rising cost of fuel. The spokesperson at the Works Ministry confirmed this telephonically.
We have considered a number of factors. We are aware of the COVID situations, which is affecting everybody. But again, also the bus operators and taxi operators, they also need to service these vehicles. They also need people who are drivers who need to be paid. And they also need to purchase tires in order to keep these vehicles in good conditions. These are all the factors that we'll look at, and also look at the margins that they normally make in order for us to consider the increase of these bus and taxis.
As for the feud between long-distance and illegal 7-seater operators, Ngweda said the ministry is in the process of working out a solution.
One of the solutions with regard to the 7-seater is that once the bill, which is currently now standing at our National Assembly, which I'm sure that by next year will be discussed and then consultation will be done, and I think it will become a law next year. That bill has included all those issues, particularly with regard to the 7-seaters. So that matter will become something of the past, definitely.
The Road Transportation Board of Namibia pointed out the issue of unauthorized price increases by some public transport operators. Appropriate legal action will be taken against those found guilty. The Roads Transportation Board of Namibia further urges bus and taxi operators to implement hygiene measures among commuters to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
The Institute for Public Policy Research, IPPR, in its latest edition of the Procurement Tracker Namibia, a publication that evaluates the data on how many public institutions have been complying with the Procurement Act of 2015's reporting obligations, revealed that there is generally low compliance by public entities.
According to the IPPR, this phenomenon is largely due to limited procurement proficient personnel at public entities, limited understanding of the Act, lack of information technology facilities at public entities, lack of implementation of compliance measures, and sporadic releasing of funds, among other challenges.
Go back to Procurement Tracker 13. This one is Procurement Tracker 15. You'll see a lot of the issues that we addressed 2 editions ago actually once again surface in the PPU report that was tabled in the National Assembly in October. So let's get straight into it. So the systemic problems. So some of what we, as I said, this was from a combined annual report for the financial years 2017-18 to 2019-20, and we lay out in our feature the challenges and problems listed by the Procurement Policy Unit for those sort of the lessons over those 3 financial years. So firstly, there was a lack of capacity. There's a recurring issue within the public procurement system, within the PPU, the Procurement Policy Unit, within the Central Procurement Board, at review panel level, and also lower down in these points at individual organizational level. There are issues around staffing and capacity and so forth within these procurement structures across the state. And these are issues that, I mean, we've sort of spotlighted previously very extensively, and these have now come up again in this combined annual report of the Central Procurement of the Procurement Policy Unit.
Lungs also provided some of the solutions which the IPPR is currently working on towards overcoming these challenges and problems.
The solutions that are proposed in this combined annual report of the Procurement Policy Unit, of course, more staff and expedited employment processes, both at PPU level, at CPB, at the Central Procurement Board level, at review panel, at individual organizational levels, to bring in professional and capacitated staff into these structures. As I indicated, the PPU should develop all standard bidding documents, improve existing bidding documents. To a large extent, this particular challenge has already been significantly addressed. And then, of course, this is one of the areas that we feel needs to get a greater attention, is the issue of a proper monitoring framework, monitoring system to monitor what's happening within the public procurement system. And this would help inform, of course, reporting by the PPU, and also, hold individual organizations accountable if real-time monitoring and reporting is done.
Lens concluded that in his mid-year budget speech recently, the Minister of Finance, Iphumbashimi, briefly acknowledged some of the prevailing issues identified in the public procurement system and measures put in place to mitigate these issues.
Enjoy these fantastic payday savings at Clicks until the 10th of January. Buy Clicks 2-ply toilet paper, 18 rolls, $89.99 per pack. Save 20% on Pampers Newborn Baby Dry Disposable Nappies Jumbo Pack or Premium Care Disposable Nappies Value Pack size 1 and 2. And buy selected Omo Auto laundry products, $68.99 each. Clicks, feel good, pay less.
Dink jy sy het nog steeds abandonment issues?
Is moontlik.
Al ons moeite met die sprokies. Ek probeer so hard om my kind gelukkig te maak, maar ek kry dit nie reg nie.
Probeer net help, dis al.
Jy doen niks sonder bymotiewe nie.
So jy hou van die tattoo?
Nee. Maar jy kan nie liefde koop nie. En beslis nie myne nie.
Jy regular.
Am I that predictable?
Jy is 'n gereelde klant en ons net so 'n manier om koffie te drink.
How do you like your coffee?
Gewoonlik swart sonder suiker.
Does black and bitter only pertain to your coffee preference?
Ek hou maar net van my koffie sonder melk.
Hoe gaan ek 'n bal raak slaan na 2 glase wyn?
That was part of my plan.
Wat? Om 'n tipsie te maak sodat jy kan wen.
I'm terrible at papa.
New in the farming business, Derek Lilonello, an unemployed graduate, decided to venture into poultry farming in August this year. Based in Linyanti constituency, about 110 kilometers from Katima Malilo, Derek runs his poultry business called African Taste, where he has one employee who looks after the chickens and occasional casual workers who assist with slaughtering.
I started this business of poultry in August. I had to order day-old chicks from one of the retailers in town, and the reason why I started that was because when I came out from outside the country, I discovered that a lot of people in the village, they struggle a lot for relish. So I needed to identify the gap, like there was that gap of the supply of relish. So I thought of starting up the poultry, which is the broiler type. I'm not only intending to do the broilers, I'm also intending to get into the egg production. I'm intending to get into the egg production as well. So this is my first batch, even though already some have been ordered. They're already in town. We had 20 which were ordered from town, but we're slaughtering today, and from here we'll be doing our distribution around the village to see if people can be interested.
Despite being new in the business, Derek foresees a great future in poultry farming and would like to expand his business. He currently sells chickens to the local community and also takes orders from Katima Mulilo, which he then delivers himself.
The same chickens that you buy from big retail shops, they are the one that makes fried pigs. I'm into the industry now. I've started with the stock of 200 beds, and I had a mortality rate of there were 10 that died out of 200, which according to the people mentoring us in the poultry industry, that was a very good number in terms of the mortality rate. Usually people face a lot of mortality rates when they are still young. They are very sensitive when they are young, but we not face that much. We can expect that we are facing time to also run this. I left outside the country and I'm back home now to implement it. So yes, they are here. We have already started supplying. We sent some to the team already.
Derek also recently started to introduce more livestock, such as goats, to his business. For orders or to visit his projects, Derek can be contacted on 081 377 6882.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
Win free airtime with #LearnOn1. Share your comments on the lessons. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
In other leading stories, NamPower steadfastly strives to achieve optimum organizational efficiency through the implementation of innovative technologies aimed to improve corporate performance and competitiveness. The company's integrated strategic business plan for 2020 to 2025 sets an ambitious goal to focus on technological advances in their product offering to meet the future demands and expectations of customers and employees. In pursuit of this goal, NamPower's Information Service Division saw the successful implementation of a company-wide migration from the SAP ECC system to SAP S/4HANA, a next-generation go-to-business suite for developing an intelligent enterprise. SAP S/4HANA offers a host of valuable benefits such as embedded real-time analytics, an intelligent and powerful user experience across all devices with the SAP Fiori, faster response time, and better performance with the SAP HANA database. With SAP S/4HANA, NamPower can now adapt new technologies such as machine learning, robotics, and the Internet of Things in its business processes. A migration of this magnitude is estimated to cost close to 12 million Namibia dollars in consultancy fees. By using its own skilled SAP support team, NamPower saved about 8 million Namibia dollars. This milestone achievement gained NamPower international recognition from SAP, which saw the company receive a nomination at the SAP Africa Quality Awards for Customer Success in 2021.
Nothing is too good for my daughter. Now here's the deal, Nambi. There's no playing around with other boys before your wedding. Do you understand me? It's the most important day of your life.
Nambi, baby, you have a face like a beautiful person. I got you this Virgin Mary necklace to protect your innocence.
Stupid man. We have loved each other since high school, and now you want to turn your back on me? All the plans we made, you just throw them away? And you want Nambi now? When I've always been there for you, Ziwa, do you understand? And she doesn't even love you. I've wasted my time on someone like you.
Don't be like that, Jalia.
Love, everybody needs it. Love.
Time now for Business on One with Joseph Shifeni.
Business on One is proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
Welcome to Business on One. I am Joseph Shifeni. The issue of youth unemployment stood out at a recent engagement at State House when the President met over 200 young people. At the occasion, the head of state urged young people to be job creators in their own right. Economist and labor expert Herbert Jauch is of the opinion that there has been very few interventions and programs that had an impact in supporting young people since the start of the economic downturn in 2016.
With the COVID-19 pandemic, growth in most sectors declined, leading to fewer employment opportunities, while retrenchments added to the unemployment pool. Labor expert Herbert Jauch says neighboring countries too are facing rising youth unemployment figures. Come 2022, he says prospects in this regard are not likely to change unless drastic state-driven interventions are implemented.
What is also especially hard now for young people is that government has basically declared a blanket ban on any kind of employment. It's cost-cutting exercise. So for young people to look towards the public sector for employment is almost a closed door. There's very little happening. And the private sector likewise is very small and weak. And that is why the immediate prospects are not looking very bright for young people. And the issues we discussed earlier, more structural changes to our economy, direct attack on poverty as was promised, are absolutely essential to turn that around and to give young people again some hope in terms of opportunities for them, that they can find jobs in the future and decent jobs for that. Because it doesn't augur well if we tell a generation to come, well, kind of find your own way. There is nothing this economy and this country can offer you now, kind of pull yourself up out of the mess. No, that's a cop-out. As state institutions, we need to develop the strategy and implement them to turn it around. No one else will. Private sector is focused on their own profitability and on their own narrow focus. So when we look at the bigger picture, like we're discussing today, mass unemployment in the country, it needs a state-driven intervention to solve this problem. Otherwise, we'll sit here in a year or two and lament the same problems. And I think we owe it to young people to make a change now.
At a gathering with young people at State House, the President informed the youth that the government is committed to fighting unemployment by creating an enabling environment for economic growth. In the same vein, he also mentioned that the government alone could not employ those who are seeking jobs and that youth with skills and qualifications had a responsibility to create jobs for themselves. Yao says fewer graduates are getting absorbed in the various sectors to play their part in the economy.
Before the COVID, youth unemployment stood already around 50%. It is probably higher now. And that means the old belief to say, study hard and kind of you will achieve and find something, that is only part of the picture. Yes, it's still important to do that and to use opportunities to study. But it's an illusion to think a good education will automatically create a job for you, because our economic structures at this point in time are so poor that they don't absorb many of the graduates. And you have an absurd scenario where some Namibian nurses are now moving overseas to be employed there, trained nurses. And we have a health pandemic in the country, like elsewhere, where we need professionals like that. So we need to relook at that question of what kind of economy do we have, and these changes needed to open doors for young people.
The issue of a lack of funding was also raised, with proposals on increasing budgetary provision for youth development programs and coordinating activities presented as key solutions.
Business on One was proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Hey kids, are you in primary school and want to get extra supplementary maths, English and science lessons? Then invite learning in with One Africa TV's #LearnOnOne every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's MyZone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOnOne. Invite learning in.
Every Saturday at 7 p.m., you can stay true to Namibia sounds with a Valentine's True Music Sessions. Only on 99 FM. Stay tuned. Stay true. There's no wrong way. Valentine's. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. Employees at Commercial Grey City held a peaceful demonstration due to outstanding payments. They further claim that some employees have been retrenched unfairly after sustaining injuries, while some who were retrenched last year are yet to get paid. Aaron says we have a useless labor inspector in the country. Hilma notes that she knows about 5 employees who are yet to be assisted since going to the Labour Ministry. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
I only spin with one tires. I don't drive with them. The road to zero starts with me. I don't drink and drive. I'm going to take a taxi. 1-2. Safe to zero. Put on your seatbelt, say. Yeah. The road to zero starts with me.
Jaywalk and it might be your last walk. The road to zero begins with me.
Better late than never. The road to zero starts with me.
And looking back on the sports front this year, Namibia successfully hosted the 2021 Paint Series tournament, where they invited Kenya, Malawi, Uganda, Zambia and Zimbabwe. Uganda were crowned champions of the exciting 5-day tournament. Castro Ulumbu has more on this story.
Being the second highest ranked at the tournament behind Malawi, Uganda were one of the favorites to win the tournament. At the conclusion of the 2021 tournament, after beating host Namibia 56-37, the She Cranes head coach did not have any comment after the game, but was happy with his players' performance during the 5-day tournament.
The team performed very well, and it's good that we have won the championship. So we are just going to, maybe for the next few days, prepare for the Africa tournament.
Coming into the tournament, the Desert Jewels head coach highlighted that the tournament will be used as preparation for the upcoming Netball Africa Cup tournament. At the end of the Pen Series tournament, Julian Meyer applauded her players' performance during the 5-day tournament despite losing 3 out of 5 games.
It was a tough match. They are a very clinical team, but it was good for us to play under that pressure. We are starting to grow under that pressure to remain composed. We still have some basic errors that we need to correct and eliminate. Once we get that right, we will be more clinical and the gap will close by itself. I'm happy we won the last quarter against them. We won the last quarter against Malawi. So there's a lot of things that are positive that we can take from it. We were flat against Zimbabwe. We weren't happy with that performance. We hold ourselves to high standards, but we've sorted it out and we've got set plans for next week when we take them on again. So hopefully then we won't have that flat or that drop in energy when we play them, or the drop in intensity. In terms of overall, it was fantastic, the Pen Series. We really had a good time. It's so good to be playing in Namibia and playing this level of competition in Namibia, having the fans here supporting us. We had a wonderful time. Looking forward to next week with the Africa Cup coming out, South Africa coming in, Tanzania coming in, and Botswana coming in. It's going to be very hard again. It's going to be 8 hard games in 8 days against the top teams in Africa and in the world. But we're looking forward to it. We love benchmarking ourselves and improving all the time. So definitely looking forward to it.
Namibia is now looking forward to the Netball Africa Cup, which is scheduled to take place in Windhoek from the 9th to the 16th of November 2021. Namibia's Desert Jewels will again host Netball Africa Cup defending champions South Africa, Malawi, Botswana, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya and Tanzania.
That is all we have for you. You can join me again next time. From me, Maggie Forciero, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
I like rhymes.
I like them very much. Future here in this area is depending on the tourism. The future generation, they can see and they can benefit from their own resources. Animals like rhinos, elephants, the big five, you benefit from them and it must be respected. You are not feeding the rhinos, you are not giving them order, so it's a free business. I take two of my sons, which was little bit 5 years old. They were young guys. So they asked me questions. Why are we here? Why are we sleeping here? I told them this is our resources and this is our future. My first memory of going with my dad is that I learned new things. As I grow up as a man, I see an opportunity in it. So I decided to look for a job pertaining to tourism. So that's when I was employed at Palamba. So I decided to go for tour guide studies because I grew up with the tourism industry, the wildlife, the rhinos and everything, to bring that experience to the tourists. If I see the hyena, the biggest changes, I was employed, getting paid, and also I can now support my family.
It's a cultural thing. It's coming a long way. Even if you go to area like Fontaine, area was a lot of paintings. You will see rhino engravings on the rocks. That is an indication that the interaction between human, especially the local communities and wildlife, is dating back. That intimacy relationship is coming for a long time.
We are right here now at Palambach, and Palambach is one of the big lodges in the heart of the desert. And as you can see there is Jumbo standing behind me, which shows it's really a tourist area. We do have elephants, lions, but as you can see, the desert is the heart of the rhinos. This is the main breeding area of the rhinos, is what we found here in this desert.
It's the largest free-roaming population of black rhinos that you find outside national parks in the world. It's a population that communities in the northwest have taken responsibility themselves in managing this population with the structures that government has put in place, more specifically the establishment of conservancies.
These people, before independence, they took it upon themselves and decided that wildlife is our heritage, and through history we've been living with wildlife. And having wildlife in your area is like having a garden.
Because of all these animals, we've got the communities that benefit from all this wildlife. And it's like a triangle that fits into each other. And the communities looked after the wildlife doing their own thing, and the communities benefit.
So already there were this intergenerational relationship between mankind and wildlife, and that bond is what our people actually wanted to see continuing.
Very few countries have the wildlife that Namibia has. What is also important is the policies that Namibia has put in place, which also involves communities to be engaged in the management of the wildlife species and also to benefit from the wildlife resources.
Turn conservation into a rural economy, turn conservation into endless opportunities that would actually cater for those young people that have nothing else to do.
If it was not for rhino economy and tourism in this area, it was really difficult for young people to get or find a job.
We are conservation engineers. We make conservation work in an unfenced area, and through that, we want to turn the wildlife into the rural economy that will benefit the rural communities.
So we can see now wildlife is doing very well, the lodges are doing well, and the community is also benefiting. So it takes all three together.
Devastating hit over coronavirus fears. Airline industry is facing its biggest threat to travel since 9/11.
Since March, when COVID-19 hit Namibia, things actually become very difficult. In the first place, all the lodges closed down because of COVID-19. With us, Save the Rhino Trust, we had some donors cutting on their funding. And then we had, in the same time, a poaching case of 2 rhinos that was poached. We had less boots on the ground, and poachers could actually see. Now it's all changed to go in and do something. So COVID-19 was tough on all of us. Ginger Morning, who is one of our trustees, actually came up with the idea of, why don't we ask you to go to buy some gold for us and make gold bars, and then we sell them for the rhino conservation.
I was fortunate enough to have a chance to have lunch with Clive Johnson, the CEO of B2 Gold in Vancouver, Canada. And I looked at Clive and I said, we've got rhinos, you've got gold, let's do something. Let's create a coin or a medallion or a bar using your resource to create a sustainable source of funding for rhino conservation for the future.
There was it. The gold was bought, the bar was made, and I think it was 31st of January that we launched the bars in Windhoek. And suddenly one morning I had an email from my office, from my finance person, saying, these people don't have salaries. So I said, oh, what now? So I picked up my phone and I phoned Mark Daw. I said, Mark, I've got this problem. He said, but we've got a fund already ready for you. You just have to apply, put a proposal in.
1,000 ounces of gold can make an enormous difference to the livelihoods of the communities that live up there. We are, in essence, providing income and providing a livelihood to the communities. In the absence of tourism, especially now with COVID-19, even prior to that, when we had such a bad drought, the communities became even more dependent on the natural economy.
The idea is to make this a fund that will last for the next 25, 30 years, or even longer. And a portion of that will be distributed immediately as needed. And in this case, the COVID-19 crisis necessitated us to distribute funds to pay salaries to help people in the field.
The proceeds of the sales from the gold bars will be going towards responsible NGOs. And we've identified Save the Rhino Trust as the key NGO. And IRDNC, one of the first organizations that was in the Northwest, integrated rural development and nature conservation, so that ultimately the funds go to the communities and various aspects of their war on poaching.
To be able to support those hardworking men and women that are always in the front line between the poachers and the rhinos.
If it was not for B2 Gold and the golden bars, I think by now we should have been in big trouble.
By extracting the gold, you reinvest it in other renewable resources.
The gold that's coming out from the ground is actually protecting the wildlife that's working on the ground, which is a very good symbol for the others.
I wish this was my bar. This is the 500 gram gold bar. So you'll see on this side you've got the Etindeka Mountains and you've got the mother rhino with her calf. And then on the reverse side we've got the serial number, you've got the Rand Refinery stamp, which is very important. Anywhere in the world people will recognize the stamp and they will know that this bar contains 99.99% gold.
It is gorgeous.
We wanted to make a biggest contribution. And at Ballaward, we see that as a way of giving back to the community.
Okay, so there you'll see the 500 gram bar.
Very special.
Feel the weight. It's incredible.
This opportunity which presented itself is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We're privileged to have this.
This is just absolutely gorgeous, and I think this showcase really what the project is all about.
It's from 24 karat Namibian gold.
I'm looking at these rhinos is put there like Miss World photogenic, I would say.
There are only 1,000 of these gold bars, rhino gold bars, in circulation.
As far as I'm aware, it's the largest single donation of any corporate to the conservation of biodiversity anywhere in Africa.
Therefore, we so much appreciate and would want to continue as a government to work with B2Gold.
And the fact that it's happening here in Namibia is something that we can all be extremely proud about and very grateful to B2Gold.
But thanks to having this literal pot of gold through the funding for the Rhino Gold Bar, we're able to step in now and make sure that those trackers are supported, and so are their families and their communities.
We make sure that people sustain their jobs going forward, and who doesn't want gold?
And the B2Gold Rhino Gold Bar has come in at a really critical time now, particularly with tourism being closed off and those forms of revenue not coming in.
To say we have the biggest rhino population or black rhino population in the world, let it be for the rest of our lives. And it's that heritage that we have, it's our resource that we can all look after and protect.
It's our heritage. And it's also good that other people like B2Gold are also seeing it that way.
It's actually a very nice link between the investor that buys this gold bar, the rhino tracker in the northwest of Namibia, and the black rhinos. It's an intergenerational thing. The rhino trackers teach their children how to track rhinos, their children get taught, and so it flows down.
This is something that I want my children to have, and that we leave a little bit of a B2Gold legacy. And if I can be part of that as part of my family, I'd be very proud.
It can also become an inheritance for the generations of my own clan. My children, my grandchildren.
If we can bring that passion over to future generations and to hand that over to my children, and I hope that that same passion for conservation gets migrated over to my kids.
And what we've done together is create a sustainable source of funding that should outlive all of us.
You know, I think as far as B2Gold is concerned, we couldn't have chosen a better target in which to put our efforts as far as the environmental and conservation pillar is concerned. And I want to stress there that the money that's going towards environment and conservation is actually going towards the people.
Rhino is for all of us, whether you are in Canada, whether you are in Vancouver, whether you are in the US. If you really want to see conservation at play with rural communities, I therefore humbly request each and everyone to join us on our Rhino tour and have a wonderful experience. This is what keeps rhinos on this planet.
I've done rhino trekking experience. It was just amazing walking in that landscape of the Kunene. And as we followed them, we could now find rhinos with the calf. We got the closest distance we could.
It's a warning sign.
And it was just amazing and lovely, something to experience that Namibia can offer. It's something that you have to do in your life.
and welcome to the She Word, the show where we discuss trending topics amongst women across Africa. Girl, 7 years old. Do you know why you're here?
In 1997, I was filmed by an American news crew at the place I was being held, a shrine run by a priest dedicated to the worship of deities. I was labeled a Trokoshi, a wife of the gods, paying for a crime committed by a family member.
Okay, the purpose of sharing my story was to say, you know, you may have gone through something, a traumatic experience. You are still able to have life. You have life. You can live life. You can contribute to society, and that's what it should be about. It's not more. It's not really about like victimizing because I honestly don't like watching it.
Charmingly hosted in Olukonda, one will find the Nakambale Museum. The former Finnish station that once housed missionary Martti Rautanen, who this museum is named after. This unique name stems from Rautanen's nickname, given to him by the locals as he simply loved wearing hats. Hence the name's meaning, one who wears hats. The Finnish missionary was renowned for his Bible translations to Oshindonga, which first became available in 1924. The desire to translate the Bible stemmed from Rautanen's desire to serve and help the people whom he ministered to, as they would comprehend the Bible in their own language much better. The museum displays Rautanen's paper collecting method used during the process of translating the Bible to Oshindonga. Among other things, it also includes instruments, household items, and furniture used by the missionaries during that period. As well as Oshoambo cultural artifacts, a traditional homestead can also be found adjacent to the museum. When traveling to the north, be sure not to miss out on this unique experience. Watch this space for more stories about the O regions.
I'm a physiotherapist. Life as we know has changed and physical interaction is limited. Exercise is more important than ever. Exercise to improve your lung function at home. Stay safe.
Hi beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take enough time that your body requires to release the amount of tension that you have. So let's get started. In this session, we will do neck stretches. I'm going to show you rotations, full rotations, you can do half rotations, and we're going to add a bit of tapping just to release the tension even more. Alternatively, give yourself a massage. If you have a lot of tension, go for the massage first before you do anything, just to warm the muscles, and let's get going. Full rotation. Releasing at every angle of this rotation. And I'm going to reverse, go the other side.